Beginning. The promotion no one wanted. When the Helix Tower updated its executive directory, no one expected the new director to be non-human. Helix Tower was the tallest corporate structure in Neo-Sector Karachi, a vertical city of glass and chrome piercing through layers of hovering traffic lanes and holographic billboards. I worked on floor 118 in Data Systems Logistics, a department so boring even the cleaning drones avoided eye contact. My name is Armin Qureshi, Junior Systems Analyst. Contract employee. Replaceable. At least I used to be. The announcement came on a Monday. Effective immediately, Director Vailrith assumes full operational command of Helix Tower. No last name. No biography. No press conference. Just a name that didn't belong on Earth. By noon, security protocols had tripled. Facial recognition checkpoints were recalibrated. Entire server clusters were moved to restricted access. By evening, I saw her. She stepped out of the executive elevator like gravity had personally negotiated her descent. She was tall, poised, dressed in a sharply tailored black suit that seemed woven from liquid shadow. Her skin carried a faint silver undertone, like moonlight under glass. Her eyes were not one color. They shifted subtly, reflecting data streams from the air. Conversations died as she passed. Everyone felt it. She wasn't human. And she didn't try to pretend she was. That night, as I packed my bag to leave at precisely 6 p.m., as my contract required, my desk console flashed red. Overtime assignment. Director request. I stared at the message. Directors didn't request junior analysts. They didn't even know we existed. There had to be a mistake. Then my desk comm activated. Armin Qureshi, came a voice, smooth and resonant. Report to Executive Floor 300. Floor 300 was myth. No one below 250 had clearance. I think there's been an error, I said carefully.
There is not, she replied.
And the line disconnected. Middle, the director who watches. Floor 300 was silent. Not quiet.
Silent.
The kind of silence that absorbs sound before it forms. The elevator doors opened to a circular chamber surrounded by transparent walls. Beyond them, the city glowed like circuitry, thousands of lights pulsing in rhythm. She stood at the center of the room. You are punctual, she said without turning. I value my contract hours, I replied. You will remain. That's not how contracts work. Now she turned. Her gaze locked onto mine, and for a brief moment, I felt something scanning me, not my body, but my thoughts. Not invasive. Analytical. You are statistically resistant to intimidation, she observed. Interesting. Thank you. She gestured to a floating interface. Streams of data spiraled around us. I require a human systems analyst. There are 4,000 in this building. Yes, she said calmly. But you are the only one who noticed the anomaly in subgrid Delta last week. My stomach tightened. I had flagged a minor discrepancy in energy routing, something so small my supervisor dismissed it as rounding error. You rerouted power before the failure cascade, she continued. You prevented a blackout across 12 sectors. That was luck.
There is no luck, she said.
Only pattern recognition. She stepped closer. I do not hire incompetence. Something about the way she said it made it clear. This wasn't flattery. It was assessment. You want me to work overtime? I said slowly. On what? Her eyes shifted, glowing faintly. On something that must not fail. The real reason. Over the next weeks, I stopped clocking out at 6 p.m. because she wouldn't let me. Every evening, as others left, my console flashed red. Every night I rode to floor 300. And every night, she stood beside me as we worked. At first, it was system audits, then infrastructure redesigns, then something stranger. Hidden within Helix Tower's substructure was a containment grid, an energy lattice that wasn't powering the building. It was stabilizing something. What is it? I asked one night. She hesitated. An opening. To where? Her eyes flickered with something that almost resembled grief. To my home. Director Vailrith wasn't simply a corporate executive sent by interstellar partners. She was stranded. Years ago, an experimental quantum gateway, funded secretly by Helix Industries, opened a bridge to her civilization. It destabilized mid-transfer. She made it through. Her mate did not. The gateway collapsed. She had been here ever since, watching, learning, waiting. And now, I asked quietly, now the containment grid is failing. And if it fails, the rupture will not be contained to this building. The city skyline flickered faintly beyond the glass walls. It will consume everything within a 70-kilometer radius. My throat went dry. And you're telling me this because? Because you are the only human in this building who might understand the solution. The attachment. As nights turned into months, something changed. She stopped standing across the room. She stood beside me. Close. Close enough that I could feel the faint coolness radiating from her skin. She never touched me, but she never left my side. You do not socialize, she observed one evening as we recalibrated the lattice. I do. With whom? I paused. She waited. That's not relevant. It is, she said. You have severed connections. I'm busy saving the city, I muttered. Her gaze softened slightly. You are sacrificing more than you acknowledge. And you? I countered. You lost your world. Silence stretched between us. Yes, she said finally. Her voice carried something heavy. Grief. For the first time, she didn't look like a director. She looked like someone alone. The truth about overtime. One night, I didn't receive the red notification. 6 p.m. passed. No alert. I waited. Nothing. I packed my bag. As I stepped toward the elevator, her voice echoed from behind. You are leaving. You didn't assign overtime. You expected me to. The realization hit slowly. She wasn't just keeping me here for the grid. She didn't want to be alone. You could ask, I said quietly. I do not know how, she admitted. Her species didn't form attachments the way humans did. Partnerships were functional. Emotional bonds were secondary. But losing her mate had changed her. Earth had changed her. You fear solitude, I said. Her eyes dimmed slightly. Yes. The collapse. The containment grid began failing faster than projected. Energy spikes surged through the lower levels. Reality itself seemed thinner near floor 300, like glass under pressure. We cannot repair it, I said after analyzing the projections. We can only stabilize it long enough to reopen it, she finished. To send you back. Her expression was unreadable. You assume that is my objective. It's not. She stepped closer than ever before. If I reopen it, the Valari High Council will detect the breach. They will close it permanently. And take you home. Yes. And that's bad. My home no longer exists as I knew it, she said softly. Time flows differently between our dimensions. Centuries may have passed. I felt something twist in my chest. So, what do you want? She looked at me, not as an employee, not as a tool. As you would phrase it, she said carefully, I do not wish to clock out. The grid shuddered violently. Energy arced across the chamber. Decision time. If we reroute the entire tower's power into the gateway, I said rapidly, we can stabilize it long enough to create a controlled pulse. A pulse sufficient to To collapse it safely. Her eyes widened. You would sever my last connection to my origin. You said it yourself, I replied. You're not the same person who left. Silence. Then she nodded once. Do it. And, choosing to stay, the evacuation alarm sounded across Helix Tower. We remained on floor 300. Together. I initiated the override. Power drained from the building. Lights across Neo Sector Karachi flickered. The containment lattice glowed blinding white. Reality cracked open, a glimpse of swirling alien skies beyond. I saw shapes moving there. Watching. Waiting. Veilrith stood beside me. Are you certain? I asked. She looked at me, not at the portal. At this moment, she said, I am. I triggered the pulse. The gateway imploded inward, folding like collapsing origami. Energy surged through the chamber, then vanished. Silence. The containment grid dissolved. The threat was gone. She swayed slightly. I caught her. For the first time, she touched me, her hand gripping my arm, cool and steady. It is finished, she whispered. You're free. She studied the empty space where her world once shimmered. No, she corrected softly. I have chosen. Epilogue. No more overtime. Helix Tower never publicly acknowledged the incident. The blackout was blamed on infrastructure failure. Director Veilrith remained in her position. But something shifted. The red overtime alert stopped. At 6 p.m. sharp, my console now displays. Workday complete. Yet some evenings as I pack my bag, she appears beside my desk. Are you leaving? She asks. Yes, I reply. A pause. Would you care to stay? Now it's different. Now it's a choice. Sometimes I say yes. Sometimes I say no. And when I step into the elevator, she no longer watches like someone afraid of solitude. She watches like someone who understands connection. The alien director who once wouldn't let me clock out learned something unexpected on Earth. Work can bind people,
but choice is what makes them stay.
And as for me, I'm still a junior systems analyst. I just happen to be the only human who helped an alien executive close the door to her universe, so she could build a life in ours.